Ignite to Impact.
Hey there. Now, are you uncertain about what to do next in life or in your career, or just stuck trying to figure it all out? Well, today's conversation should help you with that. We're going to be discussing winning mindset habits. In fact, I'm going to drop 3 on you, but then I'm going to give you some extra stuff to go with it. How you doing this morning? This is Dr. Geneva, and welcome to Ignite to Impact. I'm so glad you're here with me. And I got so much great feedback from you all on our last session when we were talking about visualization. And several of you asked me to talk about this whole subject of habits and winning habits and mindset. And so I decided to kind of pull them all together and talk about 3 winning mindset habits. Okay. And so I hope you'll enjoy the conversation. But more than that, I'm looking for your comments, for you who are with me live or on the replay. Drop those comments. Love to hear what you think and what you do to get your mind straight, to have that winning mindset. And it's a great time to talk about it here at the beginning of the year. And it's a lot about what I spent a lot of time talking about that in my Creating the Next You eBook, which is a gift for you anytime that you go to drgenevaspeaks.com, my website, and sign up for that book. Or, you know what, to get continual tips and strategies about, how to be the best you can be, please join my e-newsletter. Would love to see it. Okay, so what I want to do first, before I get into these 3 mindset habits, these strategies that can help you with breakthrough success, I want to kind of set the stage. That is, kind of frame the conversation that we're going to have. So let me do that. And so, I got some feedback that y'all like for me to go to my pretend board here. Many of you know I was going to be a school teacher. It was one of them dreams I had, but changed my mind. I'll tell the story about that one day. But so I love to go to the board. And several of you dropped a note and said you like me going to the board. So I'm going to do that and use some of this to help guide the conversation along with your comments. So, drop them comments and what you think also about this topic. So there's 3 concepts I want to talk about. One is this create from place. And this create from place, come from place concept. And what this means is that, I really do believe that we need to come from a place of love and faith in ourselves, that we need to be our best friends, and that this faith in ourselves is what really matters. And, it's not that you're not good enough or that you have to prove something when you talk about wanting to be a better version of yourself. We don't want to come from that place of lack or scarcity. So we want to come from the place, we want to create the place that is full of abundance, love, and faith in ourselves. And we want to give the best to ourselves because we deserve it. So this concept, when we talk about right mindset, it's so important to remember this come from a place of love and faith, and that I'm good enough. I'm taking steps to improve. to have that breakthrough, to do more than I could ever dream I could do. So this concept definitely says no to you thinking that you have to fix yourself. At least that's not the philosophy I come from. When I, work with clients, when I do my personal development coaching, I don't come from that place. I come from a place of, you have assets and strengths, and you are good enough, and let's work together on building more better. As my son likes to say, Mom, you help people feel and do and be more better. And so it has a lot to do with that place, this come from place. And it's important because this helps set our right mindset. And I really also think about it as a form of self-care, frankly. And because if you come from a place of love and faith, that means that you're caring about yourself. And so it is one of those many forms of self-care. Hey, Kiara, good morning. Yeah, so Kiara says, this is so good. Thank you. Now, Kiara is saying sometimes she fails at having faith in herself, and she's saying no to herself. That's right. I am good enough. And Kiara, that's the point where we need to start with. Every time we run into a challenge or a difficulty, or we want to improve or change, start from that place, that, asset-based approach. That's kind of, I'm a big fan of that. Thank you, Leah, and good morning. That's right. That's right. The wrong mindset is to think that you got to fix something. So I ain't here on that. So if you come here looking to fix something, that's not what I want to talk about. So again, remember, form of self-care, be a friend to yourself. Now, the second, we're setting the stage for the conversation, the 3 mindset habits. The second stage setter I want to just say a word or two about is the importance of switch perspective, being able to reframe and rethink. We talked a little bit about this last time when we discussed visualization. And so it really is about the frame of mind that you place your mind in. Okay. And how getting, when we talk about habits for a good mindset, understanding that the ability to switch perspective and to be able to do that on a dime, to do that quickly, to get into the habit of doing that is one of those secret foundations for building a great mindset and having the right mindset to win. So rather than, instead of thinking, I've never done this before, think, I'm excited to learn about this opportunity. Okay? Rather than thinking, I'm scared to make this presentation, think, I'm excited about doing it. Rather than, this is too hard to do. Now, I must admit, sometimes I'd be saying that all the time. This is too hard. This stuff too hard. Switch and think, I need more time to learn this. Okay. So you see the difference in, and it's really just a simple thing of switching what your thoughts are. So it's another concept I want us to keep in mind as we think about this winning mindset habits and kind of form the foundation of what we're thinking. And then finally, this whole thing about better version, the better version of yourself. And I know that each and every one of you, I believe, feel good about yourselves, right? And you want to, getting to that better version of yourself really is about being more aware, being more self-aware, having the confidence, the ability to know what's important. Okay. So with these three foundational setting, that you come from a place of faith and love in yourself, and you're your best self, and you're self-caring yourself, and being able to reframe situations from I can't do to, oh, perhaps I can learn this in a different way. Okay. Being able to do that. And then understand that when we talk about better version, we're again back to that whole not fixing concepts. We're really talking about being more aware, uh, being more confident, and really understanding and knowing what's important to you. Okay. So what do you all think about, these three foundational concepts before we move into some specific strategies? I'd love to hear what you think. Drop comments, whether you're on the live or the replay. But again, I wanted, as we talk about mindset, I wanted to get our thinking. I wanted to set the stage for this conversation with these concepts that I really want you to, to think about it and keep in mind. So now let's talk about three specific strategies I want to drop on you, leave with you. You can pick up a number of these in Creating the Next You. That's that ebook that I have that's a gift for you. And again, when we talk about creating next you or new you or the new you, when we do that, hi, Maria, how you doing? Oh, Maria, George, how are you? Good to see you. Really great to see you. Thanks for joining. Again, remember when we, that book that I have a gift for you and talking about creating the next you, again, we're talking better version of you. We ain't talking about got to fix things, because you good enough. So we starting from I am good enough. Now, I want to be better. I want to have more impact. I want to laugh more. I want to have a better career. All of that, but you good enough. Okay. So as you get who is that? Mendez, Narby. Oh, how are you joining us from our Facebook family? Thank you for being here. Love to see you. And thanks, Leah. Yes, thank you for your feedback. So, okay. So here are three strategies I want to drop on you. And I hope that you'll, I hope they're valuable for you. I hope they bring some good content. I feel like I need to move this over. Is that better? Okay. Kind of goes with the second one, huh? Kind of. Well, anyway. So, working this board, but I just want to use this board. I'd love to have your feedback as to we do different things. Sometimes I sit down, sometimes we're standing up, etc. So any feedback that you have, I love it because, I'm here for you and what works for you in terms of being able to drop this content. And, I love creating the content and sharing and the strategies, after being in this business for, over 40 years. And one of the things that I'm doing in my life that I feel a responsibility for, that I feel pleasure for, is sharing those things that I've picked up as a nonprofit leader, as a author, as a podcaster, as an international speaker. All that, what matters in that is how I can share that and how I can bring value and content to the world, to others. And that's what makes it matter. So Again, I love your feedback. So let's continue. So, three habits for many. One is to plan for the win. Okay, Dr. Geneva, what you talking about plan for the win? So you know what I'm going to say first of all, okay, that you see it. That you see it. You see it right there. So that's about the visualization, that you create this vision, that you, in fact, have this mental picture, this image in your mind of whatever it is you want to achieve, but you're winning at it. Okay. So you get, in other words, you prep yourself for success. And so go back to some of our other, in fact, the last one, I think I even went through some steps, some specific steps about how you visualize, how you do that, find a quiet place and really daydream, and then take that daydream and put it into action with goals, etc. But what you're doing is you're preparing yourself, your mind, for the win. So the first thing is you're going to see it. So that's what I mean when I say plan for it. Okay. So if you see it, you're also going to know what it is you have to do to prepare yourself for it. Okay. And then the second thing about planning for the win is that you got to plan and expect those obstacles as well. Okay. Because they will come, they will be there. That's what happens. Life happens. It ain't about that. What it's about is how you prepare for it, how you respond to it. Serena Williams, the great tennis player, says a champion is not defined by the wins, but how they can recover when they fail. And so, those obstacles, those things that knock you off course or knock you off your feet or cause you disappointment or hurt, they will be in your path. We got to deal with that as a given. But the issue is, how or do we prepare ourselves? How do we plan for those obstacles? Okay, so if we're in the set of we can see it, we're visualizing it, and we're putting together the kinds of strategies and tips and goals and things that we need to get there. And at the same time, recognize and accept that there will be obstacles. And what we need to do is to expect it, learn from them, and get back up and figure out the lessons. Then this planning for the win and having that ability and habit to do it, so that when things happen, you put yourself in the right mindset. And then the third piece about this planning for the win is that, please, whatever actions you're going to take in your plan, in your steps to get to what you want to achieve, please write it down. Time after time, research after research shows that when we write down, display what it is we intend to do, we increase our chances of winning. So these action steps, whether it's a journal, whether it's a piece of paper, whatever it is, write down your action steps. So, okay. So these three tips under plan for the win, that is, see it, make sure you create it so that you can see it. Expect the unexpected, the obstacles, the things that are going to get in your way. And whatever your game plan is, your goals, your action steps, write it down, will help you plan for the win. And planning for the win is a winning mindset habit. Okay? Second, take stock of your assets. This is the TSA that I talk about. Now, Dr. Geneva, you may be saying, not Dr. Geneva, we ain't flying nowhere, really. We still a little bit in COVID. What you talking about, TSA? Well, I'm talking about the TSA that says take stock of your assets. Why? Because again, back to you're good enough. And so that means that let's do another TSA. You've got talent, skills, and accomplishments. That's another TSA. So that's like a TSA squared, double. Okay? Take stock of your assets by identifying your talents, skills, and accomplishments. Okay? So, and I want you to do this on paper. So don't, get 3 sheets of paper. In the top, write talents. Another one, write skills. Another one, write accomplishments. And list down on each of those the things that you're really good at doing, your talents, the things that you're an expert in doing, and perhaps have some credentials or certification on in terms of your skills, perhaps get paid to do. And then accomplishments, the things that you've achieved. And let's just do it last year. We don't have to do it a long time because I know you achieved some stuff. You accomplished some stuff last year. It might have been a tough year, but I know you got some things done. Okay. And you have these 3 lists, and then you stop and you look at those 3 lists. And I want you to keep them. And I want you to reflect on them. And I want you to feel good about them. You will once you look at it. And again, it's going to reinforce that you're good enough, that you got a lot of stuff going. But so often we don't take the time to stop, reflect, and write. We have these things that play out in our heads, and we let that rule. And what I'm suggesting to you is that you use that head thinking time to do something like this, your TSA, reflect on it, and have a chance to look and read at it. And that's what you use your time doing. Simple exercise. I mean, you really could do it in 30 minutes, but try doing that. And again, that take stock of assets, just fits right into my philosophy and what's worked for me and has worked for it's worked for the clients that I now have, but more importantly, it really has worked throughout my career as I worked with people in neighborhoods, in organizations, individuals trying to create community change. And in thinking about the kinds of things they want to see, one of the first things we do is an assessment of what we already got. And it's one of the first steps. It's one of the first steps in business. It's just something that you do to figure out where you are now and what you have now and what are your assets. And because you want to build on your assets, and your assets are gold, they have something that already starts your investment off. So you're building your investment on what you have. Okay. All right. So I want you to TSA it. Okay. And then the third habit I want to spend just a moment talking about is ground in gratitude. And what this really is about is to appreciate what you have rather than missing what you don't have. Okay. So before you can appreciate it, it's important to become aware. So again, we go back to, journaling or taking some time to sit down and really think about where you are, what you have, being aware of all your blessings. Again, you hear the theme, your blessings, your skills, your accomplishments, where you are. You gain appreciation because you're aware of that, and spend little time about what you don't have. Okay, so this is a great one. And so Otha has joined us. All right. Okay, a winning mindset is not just about winning. It's about overcoming life hurdles. Once the positive thinking starts, your success will snowball. Oh my goodness. We need to have that as a quote that we start this show off with. Thank you so much, Otha. That's really very insightful. And you're right. This whole aspect of snowballing, of being able to accelerate what you have is a very interesting concept, because I do believe that's another reason why I like to start from an asset-based approach, because my belief is that if you start with what you've got and assuming that you got stuff, then you accelerate from there. Okay, so that's that kind of snowball effect that Otha was talking about. So thank you for bringing in that concept the same concept from a different lens. I love it. I love it. So again, this grounding gratitude also has to do with your attitude and your healthy mind thinking, and being able to adopt those healthy mind thinking practices, and being grateful, and finding ways to express gratitude, and journaling. Get yourself a gratitude app, or sit and reflect about 3 good things that happened to you today, and do that every night for a week. Do it for some period of time, because as we're talking about habits, habits really are about routines and activities that you try to do on a regular basis until they become something you don't think about. It becomes natural and routine. And that's when it's a habit. There's a lot of talk about, well, how many days does it take? Oh, it takes 21 days, and it's back and forth. But I really think the most recent literature on the subject of habits is really saying that assigning a day or time like 21 days or a certain amount of days really doesn't take into account the complexity of the behavioral change you have to, put in with the habit. So for example, you might want to get into the habit of, brushing your teeth 3 times a day, let's say. That might be easier than getting in the habit of working out 3 times a week. So there's a difference in that. Or the habit of getting into bed 30 minutes earlier than you usually do might be different than getting in the habit of being not being nervous when you give a presentation. So there are different types of habits and the complexities. So I'm not convinced about the number of days that it takes to develop a habit. But what I do know for sure is that a routine, that if you do things over and over and over again, it can develop into a habit. And of course, we want a good habit. We want winning habits. And Leah has chimed into Otha's accelerate word and says that might be a great word for 2022. Yes, accelerate. That's a good one. Thank you, Leah. So this grounded in gratitude is the third one. And the best piece of advice I think that I can give you regarding this is try to develop your gratitude muscle. So every day, do something, reflect something, say something in gratitude. So you could you can Google and get, you can do something like gratitude quotes. You can Google gratitude quotes, and you could get a ton of quotes that express the feeling of being grateful. And you could take those quotes and, pick out your favorite, and every day or for a week, you can read those quotes in the morning to yourself and in the evening. Simple stuff. You can get yourself a gratitude app. There are lots of gratitude apps around where you can, again, get in the habit of this gratitude and build your muscle. And yes, you're right, Leah. Leah says the I Love Myself journal has a gratitude section, and you can write in there daily. And yes, and what Leah's talking about is this I Love Myself journal. And in here, it's got a place for vision board, a place for you to express your gratitude, your always remember, a place where you can put self improvements, things you might want to learn, new skills you might want to acquire. And so, yes, this has, and then under always remember, it's two sections. One, the reasons to love myself, and things that I'm grateful for. So right here, when we talk about ground in that gratitude, you got plenty of resources, including the I Love Myself journal, which you can get on Amazon. You can get it put in I Love Myself journal. You can get that on Amazon. It's less than Tisha, what's the price on it? I know it's less than $10. So it's a great investment. And it's a journal that lets you practice these things we've been talking about. So, okay. So I'm really kind of through here. Tisha needs to tell me if there's something else I should be mentioning or talking about, but let's recap. Can we do that? I want to recap. We set the stage first with a concepts of come from place. Can't see that, can you? There you go. Okay. Come from, create that place, come from a place of love and faith in yourself, your best friend, that great form of self-care, to be able to reframe situations. You can choose what your mind thinks about. Okay? You can choose that. And so that you can become an expert in switching your perspective. And then this better version concept that really we're talking about, a more aware, a more confident, the ability to know what's important to you. We are not coming from a place when we say be better, that you need fixing, but that you're good enough and that you want to be better. Okay. So, and then specifically, the three strategies: plan for the win, make sure you can see it, get ready for those obstacles, they'll be there, it's okay. Take your action steps, write them down. TSA, take stock of your assets, those are your talents, skills, and accomplishments. And finally, ground yourself in gratitude. And that's it. And to show you gratitude, and I am so grateful for you all the time, but to show you gratitude, I want to let you know, I want to just say a little sneak peek about a contest that's coming up. I want you to stay tuned for it. It will be on February 22nd, 2022, and that's 2222022. You know, them twos have a significance. It's a number of power and excitement, that number 2. And so on then that day, you'll be able to win a signed copy of one of my books, as well as a 22-minute session with me. And we can talk about whatever topic you'd like to get some tools and tips and techniques and strategies on how to have breakthrough success, how to live a vibrant life. So stay tuned for that. We'll be letting you know more about it. If you have not joined Extraordinary Women Influencers, what you waiting for? We have a good time. I mean, we really do. It's full of inspiration, quotes, things to do, things you can do to accelerate your influence and to be your best version of you. Come on and join Extraordinary Women Influencers. And oh, Kiara says she's definitely entering into this giveaway. Yeah, this gonna be one. This gonna be one here. Okay, this gonna be a good one. So it's coming up in February, Black History Month. We're going to be celebrating, and one of the things to express my gratitude is to give you a signed copy. And I think I have the, it'll be a signed hardback copy of Justice on the Jersey Shore, which is so very appropriate for Black History Month. It's the story of a civil rights activist who was an ordinary man and achieved extraordinary things for his people. One of those thousands of civil rights advocates that perhaps you don't hear a lot about, like our revered Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and others, but one of hundreds of men and women who worked every day, who got the same death threats and hate mail and feared for their life, but they continued to fight for freedom and justice. And so that's my book. That man happens to be my dad. And I tell his story as well as his leadership lessons. And so you'll get a signed copy of that, as well as 22 minutes with me. So we'll get you the details. But hey, it's been great. I hope you continue to, live your life, be the best version of you, and always look for a more vibrant life. See ya.